Hello. I started watching and posting gardening videos on YouTube about 4 years ago. There are some good gardeners out there getting tremendous results. So when you see something being grown and returning heavy yields, you've got to give it a go. Do you agree? That's when I found the potato Sarpo Mira being grown in UK Allotments. I had to have some. Let's take a look back to when my first Sarpos arrived and the subsequent growing years. This is my Sarpo Mira story. These were the first Sarpo Mira seed potatoes that I ever purchased. In fact, these are the only Sarpo Mira potatoes I ever purchased. This is a screenshot of the unboxing in 2015 where I took delivery of 10 Sarpo Mira seed potatoes. I planted those Sarpo Miras 3 to a 40 litre bag and grew them on. And this is the first delivery from the first bag of Sarpo Miras grown by me here at Homegrown Veg. So let's do a weigh-in. Let's see what our first return is from 3 Sarpo Mira grown in a 40 litre bag. Well, we didn't get as many as we would have liked. In fact, I was very disappointed with that return, £2 from 3 seed potatoes. Bear in mind, I'd watched the allotment gardeners harvesting tons of these things and big potatoes at that. So this was a disappointment. But hey, we had some more reveals to do that year. So let's see what came after this first disappointing reveal. This was a second reveal that year. Again, 3 Sarpo Miras in a 40 litre bag. I don't think I bothered weighing this particular delivery. If I did, I can't find the result. But it looks pretty much like the one you've just looked at. £2 to £3 would be my guess. And disappointing. In fact, I've got a couple of videos on the channel from that year relating to Sarpo Mira, and I think I titled them something like The Great Sarpo Mira Disaster, because as far as I was concerned, these guys weren't any better than any other potato at this point in time. So we took the potatoes indoors, cleaned them up, and we ate most of them. But I actually set some of these potatoes aside to grow on the following year. So let's move this little video on a year now and see what happened in the following year with the potatoes that I set aside to grow on. This is my second year of growing Sarpo Mira. As you can see, Molly's in the garden with me. We've just emptied out a 40 litre bag. Same format as last year, 3 seed potatoes in that bag. The seed potatoes were the ones I kept over from the previous year, and I actually stored those in the salad shelf of my refrigerator, just in paper bags. Kept them dry, kept them cold, kept them in the dark, and this is what we got from the second year of growing these Sarpo Mira potatoes. Well, still not a lot, but it's looking better. But what we need to do is we need to do a weigh-in, don't we? Let's see if it's getting any better. What I would say about those potatoes, they were very clean. They were very clean potatoes and they were all sound. And again, we wouldn't eat all of these potatoes. We would keep some back to grow the following year. So let's have a look at the weigh-in. Let's see what we got out of this bag. Okay, this is the weigh-in. Must have took the potatoes indoors. And it looks like I've got £5. Well, that's a significant improvement, isn't it? From £2 to £3 up to £5. So we're happy with that. In fact, I think I just missed the £5. So we needed some help to achieve that. If you look at the Sap O'Muda in the bowl, I think you'll see something on there that isn't perhaps a Sap O'Muda. But yeah, we weren't too far off £5, so we were happy with that. So we're going to grow Sap O'Muda the following year as well. And as I've already said, we've set some aside, so we're going to stick it out with these guys. We're now in our third year of growing Sap O'Muda from the original Sap O'Muda seed potatoes I purchased. And what you're looking at now is an empty raised bed that was full of potatoes, but they've all been harvested. And the last man standing is that potato at the back, and that's a Sap O'Muda. And I've got to tell you now, that plant was taller than the fence. That plant was over 4 foot, 5 foot tall. It was propped up with bamboos, and I actually thought I was going to need a axe to cut it down. It was so big and it was so strong, and it looked as though it would grow forever. And this is a characteristic of Sap O'Muda. When all your other potatoes are finished, when all the tops are dying off, Sap O'Muda is still growing. It's an unbelievable potato. And so I was quite excited to lift this one. I'd never seen anything as big. And when I did harvest this potato, I actually dug up a boomerang, would you believe? I'm going to put a link on the end of this video to show you that boomerang. But hey, check this out for a reveal from one Sap O'Muda. That's the Sap O'Muda having been dug up and thrown to the front of the bed. Probably see me in the background with a fork. I actually grubbed most of these potatoes up by hand, because the last thing you want is to spear a potato. Although that in itself isn't a big issue, you just eat those potatoes first. But I grubbed them up by hand mainly, and then I finished them off with the fork. Threw them all to the front of this bed, and then weighed them. Check this out. Finally, we made the breakthrough with Sarpo. When I did this weighing, the weighing actually went off scale. We went right round the clock. And so I had to take a potato off and get it below that, and do some maths. And from recollection, I think I got 11.5 pounds of Sap O'Muda from that one top. Now that's a result. It just gets better and better. This is the third year of growing these potatoes from that original box of seed potatoes I bought, and look what we're getting delivered. So I took these guys indoors, washed them off, we ate most of them, and just like the previous couple of years, we set some aside, put them in paper bags, nice and dry, in the salad drawer of the fridge, and kept them till the following year. So let's see what we get the following year. So what you're going to see now is this year's delivery of Sap O'Muda. Having grown Sarpo in bags and in beds, I thought it was now time to give it a go in a bucket, in one of those 10-inch water buckets. So this is a delivery from a 10-inch water bucket with one seed potato sown in it. So this is what one Sap O'Muda is capable of delivering from a 10-inch bucket. If you're feeling generous, we're calling that £2. £2 of potatoes from one potato sown. in a 10-inch water bucket. Come on, that's a result. That is a result. And it's giving me more confidence in Sarpo Mira. So now let's have a look how Sarpo Mira done this year in a raised bed. That's Sarpo in a bucket. Let's have a look at Sarpo in a bed. These are the last Sarpo of this year. There were 6 Sarpo sown in that bed. I'm just harvesting them in this particular shot, and then we do a weigh-in. But remember, I'm growing Sarpos here from potatoes, direct descendants from potatoes that I got 3 years ago. So is this something for nothing? I didn't spend anything. I just kept them in the fridge and then popped them in the following year, chitted them up and popped them in the following year. Anyway, let's check these guys out. Let's do a weigh-in. We've got all the potatoes lifted now. That's the first crate on the scales, and that crate's weighing in at 8 pounds. That's the second crate on the scales, and it also weighs 8 pounds. This is the last crate on the scales, and it weighs 7.5 pounds. So we've got 8 pound, 8 pound, 7.5 pound, 23.5 pound from 6 Sarpo Mira. Well, we're well chuffed with that. So those potatoes went indoors, cleaned them up, put them in store. By now we've eaten most of them, but again we set some aside, and we're going to be growing those potatoes in 2019. When we bought the original seed potatoes in 2015. So all the potatoes shown in this short video have been descendants of those first 10 potatoes. So let's go to the fridge now and get the Sarpos out that I'll be planting in a few months' time. Let's see what they look like. Okay, this is the salad drawer from the fridge. These are all my potatoes, all my set aside potatoes that I'm going to be growing this year. Let's see if we can find Sarpo Mira. They're in here somewhere. We'll have a look at them. Okay, let's try this bag. Let's see what we've got in here. Oh. Charlotte. Got some Charlotte in here. Let's have a look. You can see Charlotte's just starting to chit up. That's Charlotte. One thing I will say about Sarpo Mira before we get to it, it's my experience over the number of years that I've been growing Sarpo Mira that it doesn't chit up as quickly as other potatoes. But hey, that's not a problem, that's not an issue. The potato still grows and it catches up. Yeah, but they are slow to chit, Sarpo Mira. But you may say that when we get them out. If you compare them with what we've looked at now. That was Charlotte. What's this? Oh, Maris Piper. Let's have a look at Maris Piper. Oh yeah, Maris Piper's chitting up. We're still a few months away from wanting these guys to be ready to go out, so there's no great hurry with this chitting up process. I feel how cold these are. Look at that guy. Even in the cold, in the dark, in the dry, these things are still chitting up. How about that? These will take off once we bring them out, but we're not bringing them out just yet. Okay. So what we've got here. or Redskins. Yeah, we've got them. Sarpo Mira. Let's have a look at these. Now these are the descendants from those original potatoes that I purchased in 2015, and tomorrow it's 2019, so by the time you see this video it will be 2019. Slightly bigger than a golf ball, not as big as a tennis ball. How about that? And look, not a single cheat in sight, just as I thought, or a cheat in sight. These guys will cheat up eventually, and we'll plant them, and we'll get another crop of Sarpo Mira, and so the story goes. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is one way of doing it. There's other ways of doing it. People like seed catalogues, and they like to buy seeds every year, and they like to buy seed potatoes every year, and they can do that if that's what they choose to do. This is something I like to do. Set my potatoes aside every year and grow them the following year. Okay, so this is Homegrown Veg signing out, but before I do sign out, watch the end of this video, because there will be a link on there to show me harvesting a boomerang. I promised it earlier in this video, I'm just giving you a reminder. At the end of this video there will be a link. If you go to that video you'll see me dig up a boomerang. Okay, hope to see you all in the garden in the new year. Homegrown Veg signing out.